living the dream.
I'm in love with the lights. This is not just a game. This is my life.
Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Live from a brisk fall day in Southern California in Koreatown, it is the Ozone. I'm your host, Omar Miller. Shout out to Twizzy Twitch for laying that Ozone theme song for us. I really like that one. I feel like
too.
I might want him to update it because I don't get enough action in the theme song.
I don't need an update.
Yeah, it's all about him. Anyways, I'm your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother from the same mother, Terry Miller, also known as Trollin' Terry. Also known as Angry Black.
Also known as the Icons.
Also known as the Icons. If you want to find them on social media, EYECONZ, or Z, as they say. For our friends across the pond, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest today, Mr. Tony Jeffries. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good coming in here with you two boys, full of energy.
Fired up and ready to go.
Fired up. It's got me fired up, yeah.
And we even got you a cup of gourmet coffee. Ladies and gentlemen,
Where'd you guys get that from?
Ernie our sound engineer / barista,
serving up the gourmet.
Served up a cup, a fresh cup. My breath is humming now, but I can smell it myself because it's such a strong cup.
A Mean Joe.
A French press coffee. French press in the back.
French press Mean Joe.
Mean
good
Joe.
As well, isn't it?
It is.
Is it?
No doubt about it. Ernie, that's good work. You've been holding out. Well, yeah, so we got a lot to cover today, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special guest in, and we're going to get to you very shortly because we want your opinion ASAP. But last week, I didn't get a chance to talk about something that I felt like was a glitch in the Matrix. And you guys feel free to join in. Now, think about this. Every now and then, you see those memes on Instagram that say, you know, who has the most attributed quotes, it seems like, is Keanu Reeves. It's always something deep and enlightened, right? Keanu's the guy. So I saw one the other day that was attributed to Keanu Reeves that said, The Matrix is the greatest documentary of all time. It is not a film. It was a documentary. Dash Keanu Reeves, right? And so I'm thinking, damn, Keanu's deep. And then I was also thinking, damn, Keanu's full of crap. But I'm at work the other day. I do a voice for one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoons. It's the greatest job ever. Nice. But one love to Nickelodeon. So I'm at work in the studio playing around like a little boy. And we start having a conversation. Our director is the guy that does the voice of Pinky on Pinky and the Brain, in case you watch any cartoons. Yeah. He's a voiceover legend. He did the original Raphael and the Ninja Turtles, Animaniacs. I just saw that he was in a Brian De Palma film called Body Double way on back.
He was in Body Double. That's my movie. Have you ever seen that?
No, I've never seen that.
Man.
Yeah, he's in Body Double. And you know what? I just watched a little bit of it yesterday, and I thought that was Bill Maher. I was like, damn, Bill Maher aged terribly, but it wasn't Bill Maher.
No, it's your man with the mask.
It's your man with the mask. It's Body Double. So, anywho, we were talking about it, and there are certain things that make you feel like we're living in the alternate universe. And one of those things is Alex Smith's horrific injury. Some days it feels like there's a glitch in the Matrix. You're going to tell me that 33 years to the day that Joe Theismann had a career-ending, most horrific injury in NFL history for most people. I mean, I think Napoleon Coughlin's was somebody put their helmet in his knee and it blew out the wrong direction. But you're going to tell me 33 years to the day, a guy has the same injury without Lawrence Taylor on the field. That's also now they're saying looks like it's going to be career ending.
Same field.
33 years to the day.
Same team.
And Joe Theismann himself, the guy whose career was ended that day, was there.
Wow.
On top of that, let's take it one step farther.
Go deep.
Subterranean.
Matrix.
Is the final score of both games were exactly the same.
Wow. That is deep.
That's crazy. Right.
And then...
Did you bet on it?
The next day, I couldn't bet. I was a little kid. I'm talking, just the other day? This is why the Matrix is real! Benjamin Button. No, So then you look at the situation. Then, as my father said, you turn back around and you see the next day the Rams and the Chiefs blow out some crazy record, which also I do believe was 33 years to the day. That's it. That's my whole. That's
boom.
That's the thing. I turn the corner.
Boom.
The thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean, and then we're talking about Jesus at 33 years old. We always got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
We got to go with JC. We got to go with the Lord and Savior. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. You guys run with it how you feel like. But I'm just saying, it seems way too many coincidences.
So what you're saying is that 32 or 33 years from now, we need to stay away from the Redskins Stadium. If you want to move forward in life, because you didn't know what that career ending.
If you're still playing 33, get off of there. If Tony's still playing 33 years from now, he's a monster anyways. Yeah, they said, Joe Theismann said, he didn't even realize how bad it had affected him. He couldn't even sleep the next 2-3 nights. He said when he got home, he didn't even realize it because I guess just
completely snapped.
Well, no. Joe was talking about Alex Smith. He's saying he didn't realize Joe realized how much it affected him when he got carted off the field. But he didn't realize how much the Alex Smith injury had affected him mentally because he couldn't sleep. Joe Theismann couldn't sleep for the next couple days.
Wow, that's crazy. It's like when you're talking about these coincidences. What was it with the rock stars a few years ago when they were all dying at like 27?
Oh, yeah.
Was it 27 or 26?
Something 28, 27, something like that. It was something, it was a bad look.
So I wonder if them musicians now are thinking, shit, I'm coming to that age. Do you know when they're young, when they're getting up?
Yeah.
This is the year you've got to avoid.
Right, I gotta drink water only.
Yeah.
And stay in the house.
Stay in, make my music inside.
Yeah.
So anywho, that was just something I wanted to throw out there. It's sports related, but it was just weird related.
So you just wanted to go deep off the top. Huh?
Off the top. I wanted to get deep. I didn't even want to dive right in. Jack Knight, belly flop. It was the French press. It did it to me.
I see that. It's got you amped.
Got me amped. But speaking of that, one of the reasons I wanted to start there, because as our esteemed guest is here, he did something that I admire greatly. And that is, one, you got to participate in the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Right.
I don't really feel like Olympic athletes get enough credit for participating in the Olympics. This is the best of the best in the whole world in every single sport.
Yeah.
I love the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I love watching the Olympics. I've been trying to sneak into Olympic Village because I heard it's the most fertile ground in the world. I read once that they distributed 100,000 condoms at the Brazil Olympic Village.
Oh, I believe it. When you're in the Olympic Village, there's big tubs of condoms just everywhere. Just you walk and get a handful of condoms. You know, they're everywhere.
Handful.
So, handful.
Get you a handful. Wow. these are the most testosterone men and women in the world.
So there's a lot of grab ass going on.
Shout out to Coach Nahara. Ladies and gentlemen, my high school coach used to say it all the time. All right, you guys want to play grab ass? Get over here. Line it up. Drop your gloves. Yes, a lot of grab ass going on in the Olympic Village from what I've been told. And I've been told that by some swimmers who apparently really get loose.
The thing is with the boxing starts on the first day of the Olympics and ends on the last day, so it's the full tournament. So with the boxers, we're competing all the time. If you're staying in the tournament, you know, you're competing all the time. But yeah, going to the Olympics was amazing, and I was on an 8-year training program from the year 2000 to the year 2008.
Yeah.
I qualified in 2007, so it was 7 years to qualify, and then obviously I went there in 2008. So it is a long road. I got put on this program when I was 16. So from the ages of 16 to 23, like them's the years when most kids will go out, drink, smoke, party, get with girls, do whatever.
So the Olympics saved your life.
Yeah, big time. I'm from a pretty rough area in the north of England.
Okay.
So it kept me, definitely that goal kept me on the straight and narrow, you know, to get there, you know. So it was great. And then finally qualify, you know, I boxed in Chicago in the Olympic qualifiers. You had to get the last 8 in the world, and there was like 54 people in my weight. I boxed the Netherlands champion, and then if I won, I was going to fight the Ukrainian, who was like a world champion, or the American team captain called Christopher Downs. So them two fought each other. I beat the Netherlands. The American beat the Ukrainian.
Okay.
So now I'm fighting the American team captain in Chicago in a massive stadium with thousands of people. And
he's got the home field.
The crowd just, USA. I'm like, oh, shit. Shit. So I gets there, and I obviously beat them. And it was funny because in the amateur boxing then, it was like, it was computer scoring where you get a point. When you hit them, you get a point. Mm-hmm. When he hits you, he gets a point, which I love. I love that scoring system.
Really?
So I'm up like 6 points going into the last round.
And you know the score during the fight.
Yeah, so you know the score. So
listen, the thing. We're getting deep today. I think I need to go play the lottery today. So side. Remember where you are. Obviously, you won't forget where you are in the story, but remember where you are in the story in the sense that I say this every time we have a boxer on, and we've had conversations with several people. I really believe that boxing, professional boxing, is the only sport, combat sports, the only sport where you don't know the score during the game.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, it is in the professionals. In the amateurs, you used to be able to get the score in between each round. Now they've changed it a little bit since the 2012 Olympics.
Of course. They got to figure out how to make it corrupt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course.
So I'm 6 points up against this American in Chicago with the crowd going crazy. And the crowd can see the scores as well. So what do? I'm not going to fight with him. I'm on my bike. I'm fucking
You're on the
running.
bike.
I'm running. This guy's getting frustrated. Come on, fight me. I'm like, nah,
I'm good.
I'm qualifying for the Olympics.
Yeah.
After the fight, he wouldn't shake my hand, and he took like.
Oh, really?
He was very bitter about it.
Did he make the Olympics or no?
No, he never made the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I guess
He should have tackled you.
Right? 7. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, these dreams shattered now, so maybe that's why he didn't shake me hand. But I think it was because I was running away. But yeah, and then that was it. Qualified. I had to fight the Belarusian the next day, and then I had to fight the Uzbekistan the next day. I fought 4 times in a week, right? And
wow.
On your body, that is a lot.
I can only imagine. What do you eat?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to make the weight every day as well. So
when you're young like that, it's hard to make the weight up, not down. Correct?
What do you mean?
Like your age, meaning. You're saying that's why he's asking what did you eat?
Right.
Meaning if you're fighting that frequently and you're 16 to if you're 19 years old, 20 years old, your metabolism is through the roof.
Yeah.
It's harder to make the weight but
what
it's still harder to cut it.
Yeah, you've always got to cut weight because you always want to be the lightest you can beat because then you're the biggest you can
in that
beat,
time.
So I mean, we were eating good. We had a nutritionist with us there helping us with the food and making the weight. But I made the weight pretty easy, But yeah, and then I qualified for Olympics, and that was one of the best feelings in the world because I've been on this 7 years, been aiming for this one thing, to get this event, and then before 2008, Great Britain had only ever qualified like I think 2 boxers in the last 8 years to the Olympics, so it was a big thing, and it was the same tournament as I think Deontay Wilder qualified as well. So he was in that, he was fighting for America there, so I was the weight below Deontay. And that's what we're going to talk about, right?
Woo! We want to talk about that, but we're going to hold up on that because, unfortunately, what we want to talk about. Well, let's talk about now. 2008 was in Tokyo,
Beijing.
Yeah, and you won the bronze.
Yeah,
this is insane. Do you still have the medal?
Oh yeah, it's at home on the mantelpiece. But I've still got the medal, and it was unbelievable. It's hard to explain, and again. I'm in that quarter-final fight. You've got to get the semi-finals to win the medal. I'm in the quarter-final fight, and I know that I'm 6 points up or 8 points up, whatever it was, against this Hungarian, this monster who's trying to knock me head off. And I'm like, again, I'm on my fucking bike. I'm on my bike, running around. And then you can hear the crowd chanting 10, 9, 8. And then I know when this bell rings, I've got an Olympic medal. It was a tough fight, but that bell rang and I got the energy from somewhere and I jumped around that ring. It was the best feeling.
Great culmination of all of the discipline that you had to show to get to that point.
Yeah, it was amazing.
But I can see now where that scoring system would be flawed, though.
I agree.
Because in that, then if you can get on your horse and not stand there and engage, then that gives, that'll make the guy lose it in a sense. I can't catch you if I can't catch you.
Yeah.
But Floyd Mayweather fights like that anyways,
yeah, he sure
regardless
does.
of
I agree.
with the current schedule. With this current,
and he does that
fight.
every round.
Every round, every
That's
fight.
every round.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily flawed if you will.
But you still get one for it. You're not allowed to not engage in the fight. You've still got to have a fight.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
But you get 3 chances, so I'll use the first 2 before the referee takes a point off.
Yep. Okay.
And then I'll be holding, and then whatever, just wasting time.
KG veteran.
Yeah.
Pro work. Yeah. So do you still keep in contact with people from your Olympic team?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. So we've got a guy, Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was on my Olympic team.
Billy Joe's quick.
Yeah, he's great. James D. Gill. You familiar with
Of course
James?
we know James.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we thought James DeGale was in the candidate for the fight of the year last year.
Oh, against Badu Jack.
Against Badu Jack. That was a great fight.
Yeah, great fight. Yeah.
And he had to hold on. Actually, that's one of the few fights ever that I wasn't mad at a draw. That was a great fight because he was spectacular early, and Badu Jack came on strong late.
Yeah, it was a good fight, great fight. James is a great fighter. He was my sparring partner for the Olympics. Like we sparred together all the time. Like, obviously, he won the gold in Beijing. Then Kal Yafai, another world champion, flyweight world champion. If you're familiar with him. David Price, he was the heavyweight. He lost his last fight. He was in the run-in to fight for Tyson Fury, but that fell through.
He's also a monster starter for the Boston Red Sox. And he just won a ring.
Switched careers.
Switched careers. So now you keep in contact with these guys. The reason that I wanted to tee it up with the Matrix talk is because you suffered an injury.
Right.
And that injury didn't stop you from staying in the game. Obviously, you're in great shape. It looks like you still fight, you still do everything, but it stopped you from competing at the highest level?
Yeah, it did. It stopped me competing altogether. So I had a hole in one knuckle, you can see the scar there, and then I had a tear in this knuckle, so I had surgery on both hands. It was over the years, the wear and tear. You don't realise that your hands are taking the most damage. You're pounding them bags every day in the ring, sparring.
Skull Tech.
Yeah.
What's that?
So this rap that we're looking at, this thing, it's like a new
next generation.
Yeah,
oh, really?
It's a next generation thing that could help fighters.
Yeah, let me know about that.
Yeah. Wow. So so it was an accumulation situation.
Yeah. So when I was like 12 years old, I punched like a man. I was like developed like a man. I punched really hard before my hands were developed, and I think that's when it really started. You know, I started hurting my hands a little bit when I was 12, and all the way through the career, and then it got to the point where I couldn't button my trousers, I couldn't zip the top, my hands were fucked. So I had to ice them every day, and then I get surgery. The surgery didn't go according to plan, and then I got forced to retire. I was undefeated in 10 professional fights after the Olympics, so I had a very promising career. I was making decent money. But now, that was the best thing that ever happened to us. You know,
look at how God works. Lay it on, testify, brother. Yeah. Go ahead, I want to hear it.
Yeah, the best thing that ever happened is now I'm not getting punched in the head anymore. I realise the damage that boxing does to the brain. I'm very familiar with that, and I try to educate myself on that. And now I've owned 2 very successful boxing fitness businesses in Los Angeles.
Awesome.
And an education program where I'm traveling the world teaching people how to teach boxing. Life is better than ever right now. And again,
man,
turn a negative into a positive. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Big time.
You better drink that lemonade from them lemons. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So, wow. Well, see, we're keeping it bright. I like all that. Now, what we want to talk about is your affiliation to both Deontay Wilder and to Tyson Fury because of the upcoming fight this weekend. But first and foremost, our last guest on the Ozone was Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
Chuck came in, he sat right where you sat. He had a great interview. We had a great time with Chuck, a blast. And he was ripped up. He looked like he was in great shape. And he felt very confident that he was going to knock Tito out for a third time. He was so happy to fight again. He was like, it's been a long time. I just love to fight. So I'm pumped up to fight. I can guarantee you that if Tito feels my power, he won't want to stay up. He's going to want to go to the ground. So we got a plan for that, blah, 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 blah. You know, he genuinely didn't like Tito Ortiz and so on and so forth. We're sitting up here having a good laugh.
And he sold us on it.
Sold. Yeah. Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, sold.
Yeah.
And cut to last Saturday night, we went to the Forum, and the best part of the whole show was Tito Ortiz's entry song, because it was pretty awesome. It was like a funk song. Who's in the house? Who's in the house? And then it goes like, oh, okay. Tito's in the house. It was dope. It was like an old George Clinton kind of jam. It was nice. It's really shout out to Tito. I was pretty hyped. Yeah. I can't front. So then Tito comes in. He's bouncing around the octagon, feeling good. And then Chuck came in. Chuck wasn't even limping like that when he was here. It's like he had an accident. It's like he had an accident from Friday morning when we did the interview,
or from walking into the ring.
It's like he stepped into a squirrel hole, and it was like, they got Chuck. He's limping in. He gets in. He starts dancing around the octagon, and he's not dancing around the octagon. And we proceeded to watch the most slow motion, saddest fight between 2 guys, because it wasn't just Chuck. Don't get it twisted. Neither one of them looked good.
Yeah.
That I've ever seen. And
I saw the slowest roundhouse known to mankind.
I saw the slowest roundhouse kick.
That roundhouse was slow, dude. I was like, oh my goodness.
That was
I was just like, oh,
yeah.
from the seats.
That roundhouse
slow.
was slow motion.
I think it was so slow that Chuck couldn't even move. He was
Chuck was like, what is he doing?
like, is that a what?
Is he stretching?
Roundhouse.
It's like the Matrix one.
Kick him.
Exactly.
Kick him.
And so we watched that for about 4 minutes, and then we watched Chuck get knocked out from a glancing blow. That wasn't like a devastating punch. Honestly, I hate that. I hate that because Dana White, I don't say this often, but I fully agreed with Dana White because Dana White blasted the homie Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy.
Yeah, he came out like a raging bull with that.
He did, and he called him a cokehead, and he made it very personal, which, that's neither here nor there. But he was talking about how, the reason he told Chuck Liddell that he shouldn't fight anymore is because he's Chuck's friend.
Right.
And Chuck had gotten knocked out 3 times straight, sometimes with a jab, and was like, hey, this is enough.
Yeah.
You've had enough. And he found other ways to incorporate him into the UFC. And somehow or another, they got this sanctioned. And the California State Athletic Commission should be ashamed of themselves as well.
Embarrassed.
You can't do that.
You can't sanction.
Yeah.
There's no way you can watch that fight there's no way you can watch that training and not know that these guys are not.
And then we have to question the trainer as well because
100%.
Yeah,
because,
big time.
Yeah, because we have to say if you had a fighter going in there and you saw that he wasn't up to code, would you pull the plug?
No,
on him?
you've got to pull the plug. I mean, what you said there, it's the saddest thing ever.
It's just I turned to my brother. There's about a minute, maybe 30 seconds into the fight. A minute into the fight, because 30 seconds they were dancing around, and it looked like they were just strategizing.
But even with the first 30 seconds, because they were throwing punches, but they were still slow.
Yeah, and it looked like maybe this is a decoy or something like that. And then you saw this was a real punch.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I turned to my brother. I said, "What are we watching right now?"
Yeah.
It felt like you walked in on your parents having sex. It felt like you were watching something inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was so sad. It really was.
It was.
I mean, I'm sure he's already a little bit punch drunk. He's took a lot of punishment over the years.
After the fight, I noticed a difference between how he was speaking to us at the interview until after the fight.
In the
ring.
When you interviewed him, did he seem sharp?
He wasn't dull, but he wasn't like crazy sharp. It's what you would expect from a fighter his age.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
oh, dude, Chuck's gonna be
he wasn't not coherent or anything.
Yeah.
we were holding the conversation.
And he was moving. He was moving a lot faster and swifter than he was in the ring.
Right.
Which was unbelievable.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It was like that time when they drugged Tyson and he was in the ring and like he couldn't pull the trigger and he was kind of just standing there taking punches.
Yeah.
Because he had bit the Holyfield's ear and it was just like, hey, man, you can't do it anymore.
It was like that time that Muhammad Ali almost
it was
Larry Holmes.
Yeah, oh, man.
Right.
That was terrible.
Oh, man.
That's the thing with fighters. A lot of fighters don't know when to stop. Roy Jones, my favorite fighter ever.
Yeah.
I love Roy Jones.
We talk about it all the time.
About it all the time.
Oh, we talk about it all the time.
Because he started fighting not to get knocked out. He wasn't fighting to win. He had to prove to himself that I'm not going to get knocked out.
Yeah, and then he just went.
And he was the best.
Yeah,
Roy
he was the best.
Jones was the best in the world for probably like a 10-year period.
Yeah.
There was no better pound-for-pound fighter than Roy Jones.
He brought out that cockfighting style.
He did.
Yeah.
That Florida. Florida was too much for everybody.
Yeah,
That's Pensacola.
we see it a lot, and we've just seen it there. But this was even on a different level of Roy Jones. Right?
This was on a different level.
Oh my goodness!
This was on a different level.
Roy Jones can still fight.
Yeah, you wouldn't advise him to.
Yeah,
but you're like, you know what, Roy? If you put it like this, if you felt like if you put Roy Jones in with another fighter in his same age decade, you wouldn't feel like, okay, Roy's in danger, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about two guys. Yeah, one is in his late 40s, one is in his early 40s, but you're still in the same range generationally. You know what I mean?
About two guys that look like they shouldn't even be in a pillow fight.
No. Neither one of them. Neither one of them.
You're right.
There was nothing for Tito to celebrate.
Yeah.
There was nothing to be celebrated. You know what I mean? And that was part of what was terrible.
Yeah.
After he knocks him out, he does this whole grave digger thing where But
I think that's just a personal thing because he couldn't get over the hump, and so now he's got him down. He's trying to make it bigger than what it was.
Yeah.
So he's trying to sell
You knocked
it to
out
himself.
a senior citizen,
You
bro.
knocked out an old dude.
Yeah, but Tito was shit as well, wasn't he?
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, my goodness.
This is what I'm saying.
That's what the roundhouse is one of the worst roundhouses ever.
Yeah.
This was a terrible fight.
Right.
I mean, a terrible. The undercards and the post fight after, there was 2 or 3 fights after that fight where actually there were some decent fights within there. And there was actually a couple up-and-coming kids that looked like they might make some noise.
Even that fight before the main event was really nice.
Co-main event. Yeah, that other fight. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what they got paid?
They said $250 a piece.
Yeah.
And plus upside on the
Tito got 200 and Chuck got 250.
Yeah, but that's also with a slice of whatever the pay-per-view was.
Right. Yeah. They must be struggling for money then, right? But that's why they must have done it for the money.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, but you know what? Just like you said earlier, a lot of guys, especially the fight, they just like the fight. And Chuck was so pumped up about fighting.
Dude, Tony, I'm trying to tell you. He was so excited to fight.
Really?
If he could have fought right here, he would have knocked me out.
No.
No, he wouldn't have.
If he did, I would have had to let him go.
Yeah,
we had to shut it down. We had to close the door, man, lock him in here.
I mean, that was I've never seen anything like that. That was terrible.
Yeah, me neither. And hopefully now Oscar De La Hoya learns and like don't be doing this again, because that looks bad for the promotions, for the sport, for everything. So yeah,
because you thought that you were going to see something that was you thought you were going to see something that was competitive, and it didn't come off as any kind of competition at all. Even though neither one of them looked good,
right? But one of them looked way worse than the other one.
Yes,
neither one of them looked good.
It's because we remember what they were like and what their fights were like. So that's why it sells.
Yeah, that's why it sells. You want to believe.
Yeah, you want to believe.
You want to believe.
Get there and
this is why this is the most dangerous sport going. Because you can't play blood sport. You can't blood sport. Man.
Yeah, and the long-term damage as well. Like, what has that done to Chuck? You know, what long-term?
Well, this
damage?
is exactly what I said. I felt like, and you should. I've never been. I go to a lot of sporting events. I've never been to an arena that was so devastated.
Yes, everybody was really. Oh
man,
it was a Debbie Downer.
It was silence.
Yeah,
everybody was like 15,000 people, 20,000, whatever it was.
Because he laid on the mat. It looked like he had a serious injury.
Yes,
and
he was down for a while, and then they gave him a stool.
And he could barely get up on the stool. And before,
it was terrible to see, dude. I'm telling you the real.
But before we could even see the instant replay to see that it was from a glancing blow.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
it looked like it was the way he got knocked out. It looked like he got hit with a punch that he didn't see.
Yeah.
In a very dangerous place that could be causing some serious neurological damage.
Yeah, I believe so.
But then you see the replay. He got punched in his throat.
I thought was the temple. No.
The first punch
hit him on his chin and his neck.
The first one hit him in his throat. He got it to the throat.
Then one hit him on the shoulder.
And then one hit him on the shoulder. And then one hits him like on the temple roll down. But it wasn't.
It wasn't like a temple.
It's a punch you have to take.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's not like that shouldn't be the game ender.
Now let me ask you this, Tony. Getting hit so many times like that, like Chuck has gotten knocked out now, I do believe, the last 4 fights.
Yeah.
Is there something that's in your neck? I know that you have that electricity that's running there, but is there something in your system or whatever that you can't recover from now on?
Yeah, I don't know if it's proven, but I really believe it is.
You can see it.
Once you've been
like
knocked
with
out
Roy.
once. Yeah, once you've been knocked out once, you get knocked out much faster. You know,
you know what?
Shuts down.
I sort of believe with Manny Pacquiao, it doesn't happen like that.
Which is interesting because he got
Evander Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield got not spark out.
Yeah. But
from the
those
big
guys,
fellas.
But those guys bounce back. You watch some of these guys like Roy Jones. Roy Jones, when he got knocked out by Antonio Tarver, was completely different when he got knocked out by Glenn Johnson.
Totally different animal.
Because Glenn Johnson knocked him out, and it looked like Roy might need to.
Yeah. It didn't look good. It looked like he was seizing in the ring.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
so people like Holyfield. I was in training camp with Holyfield. We have the same professional trainer, and that guy's chin is so like granite chin. He's took so much punches, so many punches. That's just doing him so much damage. You know, I think sometimes some guys, like Holyfield's a prime example, his chin is too solid for his own good. You know,
Sometimes
it would have been better if he got knocked out.
Sometimes, you keep taking punishment. You would do better to just get knocked out.
Yeah, and you know, a story about Holyfield was I was in I'd done 2 8-week training camps for him. We were like this, talking, went for lunch, and it was amazing for me. I thought we were decent, good friends. Then we were doing some work in the London Olympics. We were around the ring doing some commentating, and someone brought Evander down and went, "Hey Tony, this is Evander." I went, "How's it going, mate?" He went, "Hey Tony, nice to meet you." I went,
wow.
I went, we trained together with Tommy. He went, I went, we were in the training camp like 3 weeks ago. He went, "Oh yeah," and he just didn't have a fucking clue. And I'm like, "Oh my god." Yeah, and so that's how much damage that's done to him, you know.
And it's without fail. Very few
because your brain is not made to be jostled around like that.
Not off Mike Tyson, or you know.
And then
George Foreman.
And then
Riddick Bowe.
It's not made to be jostled, period.
Yeah.
But then it's getting jostled by professionals who have learned exactly how to mess it up completely.
Right. Yeah.
And you scar the brain by moving around in there.
Yeah. So I'm involved with a fighter brain study right now where I go every year. It's to Vegas. They're doing the biggest fighter brain study in the world where they'll do computer tests, test your reactions, your speech,
Really?
your reading, and you do an MRI scan. They do everything. They've done like 700 fighters up to now. And they told me that everyone's brain's connected to the skull with a membrane, but mine's got a big split in it. Because what's happened is I've been punched, my brain's rattled, and it's split the membrane, what joins my brain and my skull. They said there's no evidence that it affects you in everyday life, but there's, that they need to do more research on it. But
Yeah, and the older you get.
it's not good. Exactly, the older you get, the more it affects you.
Well, Tony, you've been here on the mic for 3 days, and we've been waiting for you to talk.
This is an intervention.
We're sorry to tell you.
You need to wrap it up.
Tony, it's over. By it, we mean life. It's over, dude. Just give it up.
You just fought Tito and Chuck. And you didn't even know it.
And I hate to tell you this, but they knocked you out. So you may just wish to wrap it up.
That's amazing.
Nothing's off gun. Nothing's over the top here, brother. Everything's on the board. Anything goes. So, wow, that's a crazy story about the deal, though.
Yeah, I'm not surprised though. The brain
punishment.
trauma. Look at even
From
Mike
the biggest
Tyson
guys.
and everybody. Look at Muhammad Ali. I mean, you just go through it, and the best guys are the guys who can say, you know what, I had enough. Because even Riddick Bowe, he never went like a long term in boxing. From a boxing
and not a
standpoint.
long-term punishment. It seemed like those 3 fights with the deal sent him to brain damage.
Well, Andrew Galata did that to him.
Galata did that too.
Andrew Galata. He started slurring immediately after the Andrew Galata fight, and I was so hurt because he was such a great fighter. But you heard him, and I was, oh wow,
yeah.
And that's the downside of watching these blood sports because I don't feel like we talk about it all the time. These guys get paid enough. The top tier guys get paid, but most of the guys don't get paid enough to take that kind of damage without any kind of insurance or sponsor.
Well, and this is what we talk about all the time, and I'm sure the listeners get tired of hearing of it to a certain degree. But we got to figure out some way of getting some sort of a union for combat sports.
Yeah, big time.
Because it's the only sport that has no union. And not only they may have a weak union, they got a bad collective bargaining agreement.
Right.
No.
They don't
There's no unity whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we talked to Chuck about it, as a matter of fact. He had some great points, and his thing was, listen, man, it's ego-based. Because the guy at the top always feels like, whatever, I had to pay my dues, the guy at the bottom should have to pay his.
Yeah.
I don't want to put any money into that, or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then things spin around quickly. And,
it's sad. I mean, there's so many fighters that I know from the north of England. They've boxed from the age of 10 to the 20, then they turn professional at 20, then they're fighting till they're 25, and then they retire with nothing.
Yes.
They never paid the taxes. They never made much money. They were making money off selling tickets.
Yep.
They were still working full time, and then they retire, and now they're on a building site, depressed with fucking a bit dementia.
Well, I was about to say, and not only with brain damage.
Yeah, it's so common. It really
It's very
is.
common.
It's so common.
This is what I was telling Chuck. I said, the times that I've trained, I've go to different gyms, you'll run into a guy that you grew up watching as a champ that's there not looking like a champ.
Yeah. I mean, it's really sad. So a union or something like that would be really, really good and really beneficial.
Yeah,
but
we got to figure out a way to push that forward. I really would like to be involved with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That would be great.
But let's talk about what's going down this weekend.
Brain damage.
We got very possible that brain damage is going down this weekend because Deontay Wilder has one of the hardest right hands in boxing history.
You think so?
And
yeah,
he's knocked out 40 dudes. Too.
Yeah, but in
or
history,
39 dudes.
but they're not like
I'm not saying
top caliber guys that he's been knocking out. I'm not going to say that he's not powerful, but you saying in history, that's a lot.
I'm saying in history. I'm not saying that he's one of the top I'm not saying he's one of the top fighters in history.
I know.
I'm saying
right.
that if Deontay Wilder catches you flush with that right, I haven't seen a man that doesn't go start doing the Harlem Shake. I haven't seen it. Every guy. And maybe the most impressive one was Luis Ortiz, to be honest, because he is he is a real guy.
And Luis stood up there for the first one.
And then next thing you know, he lost his legs after that. And he could never, he has that thing that makes you, lose your, it's like that earthquake. Yeah. It's like when you're in I don't know if you've ever been involved, how long you've been out here, but we have different kind of earthquakes out here. We're from
roller.
Here. And we got shakers and rollers. The roller earthquake makes you feel like you're drunk.
Equilibrium is off.
Really? Immediately, it feels like you just drank a pint of Johnny Walker. It's like with nothing on your stomach. All of a sudden, you just start, oh man, it's weird because it rolls. The shakers are a little bit different. You can walk those off. They're more powerful, but the rollers like mess up your equilibrium. Seriously.
Yeah, I felt that shit go.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. That's what it's like when Deontay Wilder gets hold of guys. Either way it goes, whether you agree or disagree, he's got one of the most powerful rights in the league ever. He has the most powerful punch in boxing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he puts guys to sleep and don't sleep. The Gypsy King puts guys to sleep too.
Yeah.
He just isn't such a flash. His is more accumulation more than a one-punch knockout drop. But
he's more of a boxer.
He is more of a boxer, and he's taller than Wilder. I watched this Showtime All Access, and I always love watching those shows, the 24/7s, the All Access, and they were pretty good. And the main reason that I was going with Deontay Wilder is because Tyson Fury hasn't looked good in his two rust off fights, his two comeback fights. To me, he didn't look good in either one of them. He didn't look like he looked before. And I actually believe when you have a combination of getting punched, like we've been talking about, plus you decide to go on the actual hard drugs and hard liquor, it takes a lot for your body to be able to bounce back from that. Now, Tyson Fury's a young guy still, so if somebody's going to bounce back, a young man is who can bounce back.
Right.
I also know from a point when I lost 70 pounds, it takes a minute. When you lose a lot of weight, it takes a minute for your feet and hands to catch up with your weight. Yeah. At one point I weighed 383.
Wow.
At that point, I was a much better athlete than I was when I lost weight and weighed 285. It was weird.
Seemed like you got more injuries then too.
Honestly,
once you lost the weight.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's like because for the first 25 years of my life, this was my weight. And I know how my body moves and what it can do and can't do. And there was this reconnection that has to happen when you lose a lot of weight. Why are you making that face? Right? What did I do to you?
380?
Greatest game ever played. If you guys want a great laugh and if you guys want to go get trolling Terry for not being on his brotherly duties, go Google Omar Miller, greatest game ever played. And take a look at that photo.
I see him all the time. You see somebody all the time. You don't recognize.
You see how he tries to see how he goes straight to the defeat. He releases himself from any responsibility.
Dude.
I was with him every single day. I'm gonna show it to you guys.
I couldn't even tell.
It's a bad look, folks. It was a bad look.
380.
That's a lot. That's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight.
I had
big baby.
I had
big
far
baby
more
Miller.
than one.
What are you now?
Buffalo wing too many. You know what? I'm on the top side of where I've been in like a year now. I'm probably like 315, 320 now.
Right.
Yeah, I got to lose some weight right now. And we'll see if it happens. See if maybe. Hilarious. Anyways, now I was thinking about that when I was watching the 24/7 or the All Access. But he looks good, and he looks good mentally. He talks about his mental illness that he was struggling with of success and of excess. And one of the things that they have on there that was really great was they had a microphone on him when a couple years ago when Deontay Wilder knocked out Arthur Splitsky, who is a good fighter.
Yeah.
And
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, Arthur Splitsky, he's a good fighter. And he's trolling Terry. And one thing that you see though is in that Tyson Fury couldn't even focus on the fight. The whole fight, he's walking around telling guys, let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink. Yeah. And he gets smashed, and then he comes in the ring after he gets smashed. During the fight, he doesn't even watch the fight.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a residual effect from that. Deontay Wilder started fighting late, which is one of the reasons I don't feel like he's fundamentally sound. But he gets better. I think that Ortiz fight did more for him than anything in the world could have done. And what we need to see is how does he implement what he learned in that Ortiz fight? Because if Ortiz was actually his stated age, which is 36 or 38, and not 52, as we all imagine that he is, I think Ortiz gets him out of there.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
There's so much we can talk about with this fight. Like,
let's speak on it.
Different angles there. So, I mean, when I seen Tyson out of shape, I never thought he was going to come back.
He was way out of shape.
He was terrible. And
mentally as well.
Yeah, mentally, physically, just... and in boxing, when you have time off, you come back, you're rusty. Ring rust, I think, is a real thing, you know. And now he's had 2 fights. I think he should have had a couple more fights before he jumped in with Wilder to get a bigger chance, a better chance. So Wilder was in the gym when I co-owned a few weeks ago, and he was, and I trained him. I'd done a session with him, took him on the mitts and all that, and I could not believe. Well, I could believe it, but the power in his punches. I've held the mitts for
a lot of people,
like thousands of people, and this is like just like twice as hard as anyone I've ever held the mitts for. Wow. But it wasn't.
He's got freakish power.
But not just his power, how explosive he was, how fast he was.
He's a monster athlete.
Yes.
Let's not.
Athletic,
he
yeah.
doesn't. He's
just not fundamentally sound.
Look or move like a boxer.
Right.
He moves like guys that I played basketball with, and those are the kind of guys that you have to make sure you get your body on him, because if you let him get off the ground, you're going to be on a poster.
Yeah.
He's got crazy athletic explosion.
Yeah, and I posted a video of us on the pads on Instagram, and everyone was like, he does this wrong. He should throw his right hand like this. He throws windmills. He does this. He needs to do it. I'm like, look at his record. You know, look at like he's knocked out every man he's fought. Like,
not many people can say that.
You can't really see it. All right, you need to start doing this now because you know his style's proven. It's very hard to prepare for, and I don't think you can prepare for a style like that because he throws punches that you don't get taught to throw. So you know, I don't know who Fury's really. Well, I've heard a few people he's been sparring with, but like it's no one like Wilder. It's so hard to prepare for. But where Wilder can get sparring all day, like Fury, well, not all day, but he can get sparring like Fury. He's a stand-up fighter, awkward. You know, there's a lot of tall cruiserweights he could spar with. So I think the preparation is going to be a lot harder for Fury, trying to find someone like Wilder to prepare for, you know.
I feel the opposite because Fury is unorthodox in his own right.
Yeah.
You know, and he's it seems like he's really, really difficult just because of him being unorthodox. I don't know what to expect from this fight.
I don't either. This is what I left at the All Access.
Yeah.
If I had to bet, I would bet. If I had to bet, I would bet on a knockout for Wilder, or possibly a knockout for Fury. Because what Fury has the potential to do, in my opinion, is an accumulation of punches on Deontay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the kind of pop to put. I think Deontay has a chin, which he's shown us.
Yeah.
And he's in crazy shape, so he's going to have that get back. So if you get him down, you need to get him out of there.
But one of the things that you brought up to me was that Fury's working with Freddie Roach.
So this is something that I didn't understand. Did you watch this All Access or no?
Yeah. What's the first one?
I was very surprised that when he goes to the wild card and Freddie holds the mitts for him, and then they kept the camera running on a key bit of strategy that I think is actually very important, where he told him to hang his jab, which will, if you hang the jab up, it negates Wilder trying to come with that big overhand.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I remember seeing that. I was thinking, why they put that on there? Because that's a great strategy.
It's a great strategy. And let me tell you something. And if you were Deontay Wilder and you had no idea that the guy was going to do that, and that right isn't there for like 6 rounds, Deontay Wilder has a tendency to panic.
Yeah, he could be in trouble.
You can fluster him because he doesn't have enough rounds, because he's knocked everybody out. And usually early
that on our show.
He came on the show. He came on the podcast.
Wilder.
It was great interview.
And he
I love him. I love him.
And he spoke about it. He said, because I asked him about being the pound for pound, he said he couldn't really say that he's the pound for pound because he hadn't had enough rounds.
Enough rounds.
Right, yeah.
And then he was going through that run where he couldn't get a fight because everybody kept getting caught juicing.
Yeah.
So he had that layoff. And then Terry, I told him, I said, listen, man, I said, I'm a big fan. I said, my brother has some questions about you because you seem to fight to your level of competition. And he's, yeah, that's true. He kept it 100. He just kept it real.
Yeah. He said, yeah, your brother's right. I do. He said, but why should I work out extra for somebody that I know I don't have to? I was like, wow.
He kept it real.
Luis Ortiz is a great fighter, though.
I agree.
I know he's a little bit older, but he's still a great fighter.
No, he's crafty.
Yeah, he is.
You're not going to throw anything at Ortiz that he hadn't seen.
Yeah, exactly.
That was his first time down.
That was his first time.
Yeah.
Including amateurs, I do believe.
Yeah, he had so many fights. So yeah, I mean, that there just showed what level Wilder is. I think he's the top boy. And if I've got to bet for this, I'm betting Wilder inside the distance within like six rounds. I think he's going to land. He's going to land, and you've seen what happens when he lands.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury hasn't been hit in 4 years, 3 years.
Not like that.
Yeah,
Klitschko didn't even hit him hard.
Yeah,
he frustrated Klitschko to the point where Klitschko never hit him flush. So I can't think the last time that he actually got his chin checked.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah, and talking about the Klitschko fight, like that fight as well. Yeah, I can't really take anything away from Tyson Fury because Klitschko had never been beat for like 10 years before that fight.
Yes,
but he threw about 3 right hands in the full fight, Klitschko.
This is what we were saying. You know what they at least what the word on the curb was that he was having problems with his wife.
Yeah.
And he was having he was just having, which is why
he couldn't focus.
Old Klitschko came out and gave Anthony Joshua all that he could handle.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But he wasn't there for the Fury fight because of some personal problems, apparently.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't focused. And every man that's an athlete knows exactly what that's like.
Yeah.
If that happens to you and you're like, man,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're playing baseball, you strike out every at bat, or you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Every sport, every athlete knows. And it's like, oh, shoot, this girl messed up his mind.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because that was a terrible fight.
It was
Terrible showing.
Frustrating.
It was a terrible fight to watch.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't an interesting fight to watch.
No, because Klitschko wasn't even interacting. He was just standing there.
And what Fury was doing wasn't necessary. It was effective, but it wasn't like you never thought Klitschko was hurt. He hit Klitschko flush. If you remember that time when Klitschko was looking at the ref, and he hit him flush and had no pop.
Yeah. I mean, but it's hard because I don't want to take anything away from Tyson Fury.
No, I agree. I agree.
Was amazing.
Nobody's beat him either.
Yeah, but that was the biggest fight of his life and the best performance of his career, and it was just where Wilder's a total different animal. I'm the Brit, and I want Fury to win. I really do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a friend of mine.
Okay.
And then
He seems like a cool guy. I have to say.
He seems like a cool guy to hang out with.
He seems like a cool guy to hang out with. He really does.
He's a great guy. He really is. And I really want him to win, but I just think it's come too soon. I think
it's too soon.
Promoter Frank Warren should have held him back, but I think what he's done there is like he wants to get the fight before Joshua
gets it.
Yeah,
for sure. And then if somehow or another he shakes up the world, he has just set his family up generationally because he'll fight Joshua in a $100 million match.
Yeah,
and Joshua will put him to sleep.
And Anthony Joshua will put him to sleep. Now a big, you know what? I'm rolling with the bomber. I'm rolling with Deontay.
Bomb squad.
Bomb squad. but I see a few issues. I think that the Ortiz fight helps him a lot, but the biggest issue that I see is that Tyson Fury is taller than Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do well with other guys. He seems to have a hard time.
Well, he doesn't have his leverage. He doesn't have that leverage.
He doesn't have
right
that
like
leverage to come down like he needs to.
Yeah.
Now, and another thing is it'll be very interesting to see if Tyson Fury jumps out. If Tyson Fury starts quick, then Deontay Wilder could be in for a long night.
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the things that Tyson Fury can bring to the table is playing with his mind.
I agree.
Yeah.
I saw that in the press conference.
Yeah.
If I had to say, I would say it was 3-0 already from the press conferences.
Oh yeah. One thing I don't like from Fury is how low that left hand is. If you notice,
it's too dangerous.
On the mitts, he's throwing the jab and he brings it down.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's got that height so he can move back and lean back, but still, if Wilder gets his feet in close with that right hand over the top, it's going to be night.
And he's fast enough with his feet.
Yes.
That's where the basketball comes to help a lot. He's fast enough with his feet where he can close that gap very quickly.
Yeah. My roommate in the amateurs, Danny Price, he beat Fury in the amateurs and he was taller than him. He was like 6'7", 6'8", and he beat him in Fury and Wilder. Sorry, he beat Wilder. Wilder struggled with that taller style.
You can tell. You can see, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back here next week and we're like, wow, that damn Tyson Fury, he did it again.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't be surprised. I'm really intrigued to watch this fight.
What do you think would be better for boxing? Who won?
Oh, definitely.
If Deontay Wilder wins, there's no doubt that it's better for boxing.
They're trying to get Joshua and Wilder.
Yeah,
in Vegas,
right,
or in Dallas. They want to get Anthony Joshua
out of the UK.
They need to get Anthony Joshua out of the UK. If I was him, I wouldn't come out.
No, so they can steal his belts.
I'm doing 100,000 seat arenas in the UK. Why do I need to go anywhere?
Why do I need to go anywhere, especially to Vegas?
I'm the man.
But it's better for British boxing if Fury wins. British boxing now is massive, but I think it's much better for British boxing if he wins.
Definitely.
Like if you look at the heavyweights in Britain now, like Dillian White, he's fighting Derek Chisora. There's a lot of great heavyweights there coming up.
I like White.
Joyce. Yeah,
I think White could beat Wilder
with the pressure.
Yeah,
that's a great fight. That's a great fight.
He's fast.
Yeah.
He's
good. He's really good athlete.
He's a good athlete, and that's something that'll cause him problems. But I feel like
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really think this is something that Wilder has been doing to all of his opponents. Is they have better fundamentals usually, and he's a much better athlete.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that most of the time
That works.
that works until you meet up with the guy who actually is an athlete that's fundamentally sound, like Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
like Anthony Joshua.
One thing I noticed about Wilder is he's got a bit of a screw loose, like which I feel like a lot of Mike Tyson's got a bit of a screw loose. A lot of these fighters are a bit mental upstairs, but he seemed to really, really believe in himself. It's
real.
His self-belief's so real.
It's real.
Like he's the best man in the planet, you know.
But that's why I do believe that Fury could get in his head because of his own belief. Because if Fury can plant any kind of seed of doubt in his head during those early rounds, it's going to be a problem for him because
all he's going to do is start throwing haymakers.
all he's going to start doing is throwing haymakers, and this is the.
I don't know if he has
discipline problem
anything else in his toolbox.
Exactly.
This is my concern. I think that the jab is going to be the key punch.
Fury
I
throws
think,
a lot of them.
And I think that this is why I'm saying I think the fight ends in a knockout. Let's get this straight off the top.
Somebody going to sleep.
I think somebody's going night-night. Chuck.
I can't,
Bring your pillows.
I can't see Fury knocking Wilder out.
I can see it late from an accumulation of punches, not from a one-hitter.
Yeah.
I think that you can jab. I think the way to beat Deontay Wilder is to jab him into submission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
a la Larry Holmes.
A la Larry. Oh, Larry. Oh, my God.
Just live
Don't
by,
even talk
live
about
by
it.
the jab.
I really believe that because, especially if you're the taller guy, he's going to be so frustrated. There was a point, if you go watch the first 4 rounds of the Ortiz fight, Ortiz doesn't have a length advantage, a height advantage. Luis Ortiz established that jab.
Yeah.
And he stayed with it, with that jab with him.
Until he brought that right in on him.
Well, but the thing is, he stayed with him with that jab where Wilder kept trying to find that right. And with him being left-handed as well, he came straight down the pipe with a left. And that's when Wilder was, that's when he confused him.
Yeah.
I don't think that my man has enough rounds to overcome the confusion that can take place that makes champions able to adjust. To be like, oh, this is what he's trying to do to me.
Yeah.
But if he gets his confidence up, belief is one of the strongest things on the planet. And when Deontay Wilder gets a guy in trouble, forget about it.
Yeah, it's game over.
Yeah.
But you think Fury's jab's good enough to
I don't know.
hurt him because he flips
But
it?
you know
But
what?
see,
I don't even think that it's about being good. It's just that the jab is a lost art right now. Nobody really sits behind their jab like they used to. You watch all the old greats, and they literally live by the jab, setting up all their punches off of their jab. Who does that nowadays?
Right.
It's really hard to find a fighter that really does that.
Yeah.
And when they do that, though, you thinking about it right now, who does it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Anthony Joshua does it probably more than everybody.
Yeah, Joshua's a good one.
Gennady
Gennady.
Golovkin.
Yes. And Triple G.
Triple G's got a great job as well, yeah. Yeah, very interesting fight. I can't wait for it. And when we're talking about Freddie Roach starting to do some training with him, I think that would only give Wilder confidence.
Why is that?
More than anything else.
That he needs to go get.
Yeah, that he's not confident in his own coach that he's been with for his last 2 fights, that he wants to pull in Freddie Roach. I don't know if Freddie Roach could help him or not, So I think that would give Wilder confidence,
I don't know. Now, listen to this. Freddie Roach was I'm on a television show called Ballers, and Freddie Roach was on Ballers one day.
Oh, he was?
And, and I was working with him that day down at Wild Card West, and it was the day after Wilder knocked out the guy that was the school teacher. I think his name was Gerald Washington.
Right.
Might have been Gerald Washington. And Gerald Washington was giving him all that he wanted for 5 rounds, and then Wilder changed the fight around with 1 punch. And we were all talking about how wild he was and how much more he needed to focus. And we were talking, it was me, him, and Pete Berg, and we were talking about the fight. And I said, man, Wilder was in trouble this weekend. Freddie Roach said, yeah, until he wasn't. This is a real thing.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what, though?
If you can avoid that right, if Tyson Fury can avoid that right.
But that's what Roach is teaching. But my thing of it is that, like he said, he was in trouble until he wasn't. But the thing of it is that the higher you go, the competition level,
once
they
you
know
get
how
in
to,
trouble,
once you get in trouble, they know how to get you out of there. If he gets in trouble against Anthony Joshua, he will not come back.
But we're not talking about Anthony
If
Joshua.
he gets in trouble against Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury used to be the champ.
Yeah, but Tyson Fury had a few years of drug-fueled rock star parties, dude.
Like you said, he's a young man. He looks great. I want to say he looks great. I'm either way. I don't know who's going to take it, but I'm saying that Tyson Fury causes problems in the ring when you watch him.
You've seen it. You've seen it every single time.
Yeah.
And he left that 24 said that All Access. He said something great. He said, one thing you can count on is I'll turn up to fight. He said, I may have some fat on me belly, some fat on me back. You can count on Tyson Fury to show up and fight. And he is going to fight.
Yeah, that's good. I love how fast they made the fight as well.
Right. Yeah.
I
love the fact that the fight is in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Great.
Both of them. Right after that Golovkin-Alvarez fight, right after Canelo-Golovkin, they said, Tyson Fury especially said, I'm not fighting in Vegas.
He did?
He was the one who said that. And then
he said, if we're going to fight, if it's the fights in Vegas, I'm not fighting.
And then like a week later, they made the fight and it was here.
Yeah, I love that because how long it took them to negotiate with Wilder and Joshua. It was
too much.
Ridiculous. But the fight just got made like that because it's two men who really want to fight.
Yes.
You know, and I think if Joshua really wanted to take that fight, he would have
I
taken it. It would have happened.
I have to agree.
I don't agree. I don't. Everybody always puts it on Joshua, but when Wilder was negotiating, he already had a fight lined up. When he was talking about a date, he had a fight lined up already.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why everybody throws that on Joshua. Joshua said that, hey, listen, I'm not in control of that. I'll fight him. Just put it down. And Wilder
sounds good, but
Wilder said the same thing.
But when you start looking at Wilder said, looking at it all, it was a fight that both promoters of both guys wanted in 2019. I think Wilder actually wanted to fight. Yeah. I believe he wanted to fight. I don't think that he actually wanted to fight, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But I think he thinks he wanted to fight. Yeah. I think that if this fight with Ortiz and now this fight with Fury will do him better than anything else that could that could happen. If he beats both of these guys, obviously he already beat Ortiz. That's a matter of fact, that's another fight. Ortiz is on this undercard. I'm really happy about that.
He is?
Yeah. Ortiz is on this undercard.
Lennox Lewis came out and he said, like, if you're a fighter and you want to fight, if you're a champion, you can fight.
You're the champ.
You're the champ. You pick who you want to fight.
That's how it works when you're the champ.
I agree with what Joshua and his team's done. They
maximize their financial leverage.
Yes.
And they're also maximizing their moment if, God forbid, somebody catches them.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, though, Wilder said that he would fight him anywhere, but then it turned into he wanted to fight him in the States.
Right.
Why would Anthony Joshua leave leave the UK? There is no reason for him to leave the UK to fight.
Except to get ripped off.
Yes, he's selling out arenas.
Yeah.
And Wilder can't even fill up that stadium that he fights at? Yeah, at the Barclays.
Yeah. But didn't offer him $50 million.
He did, but they said the money was never really there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Wilder said to me the money was there, but he would say that, wouldn't he? But yeah, I think you both know, like in sports, you've got to make as much money as you can. You can.
Especially with no union.
It's short-lived. It's short-lived.
Yeah, that window's really, really small. I mean, I know that. I got injured after 10 fights. So you've got to make as much as you can while you can before you've got to get out there. And then if you can get out with your marbles all there, where
you get money.
Yeah, with some money, that's key. Like Mayweather, great. He's been in, made a fucking fortune, and then come out and,
Do you see that they're teasing with the Canelo Mayweather maybe?
I see they keep teasing.
No, I've never seen that one.
Canelo wants it out there. Canelo wants it bad now.
Bad.
I bet Mayweather shouldn't take that fight.
Why not? I think he would beat him still.
Nah, I don't.
You don't?
I don't think Mayweather should take any fights.
He shouldn't take any fight, but
after the Chuck Liddell situation, I tell
Floyd never. He hasn't taken a beating, and Floyd always stays in fight shape.
He hasn't taken a beating in a very long time. Very, very long. He never took a beating like the.
And Canelo, I want to see what Canelo's going to look like after taking 2 beatings from Gennady.
Yeah, that's going to take a few years off your life then.
He stole his belts. That's over with. But he took a beating, both fights.
Yeah,
but I think that there's some Mexican meat to help him heal up from that. I think that goes a long way.
I don't know if that can help you heal from that beating. He's a guy that you're talking about maybe a punchy in a couple of years.
Who's that?
Canelo, because he took a lot of headshots from Gennady.
And Triple G.
Yeah,
he took a lot from him as well. What do you boys think of the Mayweather-McGregor fight?
That was a waste of time. That was just a gimmick.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it at all.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
Why? You knew the outcome.
You knew the outcome. And if you didn't, it was just because you're a Brit.
No, I knew the outcome. I even had like $1,000 on Mayweather stopping him in 1 round.
But this is the problem. Floyd had $300,000 for him to stop him in the 10th. And guess when he stopped him?
Yes.
He did?
Oh, come on.
I never knew that.
Yeah. But on like the over or whatever it was.
He carried him.
That's what happened.
He literally
that's what you come to find after the fact. It was a proxy situation.
But he beat Mayweather in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Mayweather didn't even throw punches.
Mayweather didn't lose them rounds on purpose.
Yeah, he did.
Yes,
I don't think.
Come on. You need to go watch that again, Tony.
You need to go watch it again.
Come on. Go watch that again.
That uppercut that he caught him with.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
And you saw what he did? He walked right through it.
Yeah.
He walked right through it because Conor McGregor doesn't know how to throw boxing punches.
Yes.
Right. No, I agree. But the thing I liked about it was entertaining. The build-up, it was cheesy. It was like WWE, but it was different. So if a fight like that happens, I want it to happen in my lifetime, not another lifetime where I don't get to see it.
My problem with it is that you'll take something like that and Floyd Mayweather puts that on his record.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be on his record.
It's 100%.
That should be on his record.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. That should be on his record.
But still, what I love about it as well is how much money they've made.
Oh, they made big money.
And
big money.
Yeah, they deserve it. All fighters deserve it. But
I agree.
We don't get it, so
Big money.
fair play to them.
And it was the safest fight for both of them. I mean,
Yes.
Conor McGregor didn't take a beating. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with Conor McGregor after that fight.
What about the last fight he had?
I don't even know. That's what I was just about to say. I don't even know why he decided to fool around with Khabib. Khabib wasn't playing with him.
He wasn't playing. He was pissed.
It was not only business. He saw that little whisper. He go, hey, man, it was only business. It's not only Listen, it's not only business. I'm very serious about my religion, about my parents, about all of this. I'm real with this.
Yeah.
And I will rip your neck off.
And he tried to.
After he tapped. He tapped and he kept it on. That was, man, that was vicious.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
Well, gonna wrap it up soon. We ended up spending a whole session, which I'm very happy with. Really great guest.
Yeah.
Man. Thank you.
That's been
Now,
fun.
That's
now
awesome.
tell me this. Tell the people where they can find you at your establishment.
Yeah, so I own 2 gyms called Box and Burn in Los Angeles, one in Santa Monica, one in Brentwood. And boxing
West Side.
boxing fitness gyms. Yeah, if you're ever around, come and get a session.
slide through. Yeah.
Come and do it, and you can find me on Instagram, Tony Jeffries.
There it is. All right, folks. We're gonna leave. I actually got someplace I gotta go, so I wish I had more time. Gonna leave you with a quote from Calvin Coolidge. And I've left you with this one before, but it seems like it's always relevant. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Stay at it, folks, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm Omar Miller. I'm your host. I'm here with my brother Terry Miller and our special guest, Mr. Tony Jeffries.
Thank you.
This is the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is